the one on the right here, you would actually want to write this as 9D. The number comes before the variable.
Oh,
That's a preference, and that's going to be something that you see the more math you take. Another thing for number 2 is that we generally use the fraction bar rather than the division operator. It's a preference. I don't know why, but as you take more math, you will never write this symbol anymore. You will write the fraction bar.
okay.
Okay, so let's go to 5, 6, 7, and 8. I want you to look at this list, and are there any here that you feel like you know right away how to write them in words?
All of them.
I'm sorry, say that again.
All of them.
All of them. Let's look at number 7 then. 7's
Okay.
really the one that I think is the most challenging. Go ahead and write some words for 7, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. 7 decreased by 6.
No. So we
M decreased by 6.
M decreased by 6. Yeah, that is true. Okay. And you're trying to do it the more linear way where it's in order. You could say 6 less than M if you wanted to be consistent with how we did it in the previous one. Okay, do you got that down for number 7?
Yeah.
For number 5, I want you to use the word quotient.
Quotient. Okay.
Yes. What did you come up with?
Z or 4 quotient Z. I don't know.
Okay, so it's the quotient of, and I know this one's
Quotient
harder.
of.
Quotient of, and then you would say Z and 4. And I know you want to just say Z divided by 4. But when I look at the next page, I see that you're going to have some of these other options on there.
Okay.
Okay, so for the second one, or I'm sorry, for number 6, go ahead and write something out for that, please.
5 times 6.
Yeah, and so I was gonna have you use, but yeah, that works. 5 times 6. All right, for number 8, I want you to use the word sum.
Okay. The sum of S plus 3, or the sum of S and 3.
Yes, exactly.
Sum of
Yeah.
S and 3.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's go to the last page because there's some new things here that we have not talked about. So let's just look at number 1. I'll snip that in here and share it. Okay, so one of the nice things that your instructor has done here, it says find the median of this set, is they've put the data in order. Now you should not expect it to be in order in your exam. So you may be expected to put it from smallest to largest.
Would be 20
Yes. Now, why is it 20?
because it's in the middle.
Yes.
Oh.
Now, is it possible for there to be two middles?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, actually, this is a good one for us too. We're going to go down to number 5. And this one is not in order. So you probably have your own way of doing it. What I recommend is trying to space out the data points, like and cross them off as you go, so that you don't sort of miss one, because that's what happens to most students is they don't get them all down. And I've left space in case like I needed to put one in the middle. Now this one actually has only one middle. So again, it's going to be 9. So let me actually give you one that has 2 middles. I don't know why I looked at that one and thought it had 2. I wasn't looking very closely, but let's look at number, I think it's 8. This one has 2 middle values.
4
Two-
and 8.
Yeah, so I like to circle them. Now there should always be the same number of data points on the outside. And do you remember how to find the median when you have 2 middles?
Add or
You actually find the average of them.
average, yeah.
So you add them up, 4 plus 8, and
12
divide by 2.
divided by 2, 6.
Yes.
Median percent.
Any questions on that?
No. Number 3 also does not. That just has 2.
We're going to talk about mode, but any questions on this one that we just did, the median?
No.
Okay. So just let me make a few more comments here because I want to make sure you're getting all the information. This is kind of a strategy that I like, that you think you may like, is I try to do all the same type of problems on a homework. So we just did all the median problems. We did 1, we did 5, and then we did 8. They were all median problems. I would
Yeah.
then do all the mean problems.
Okay.
No, you don't have to do your homework in order. In fact, you shouldn't do it in order. You should do it in the way that you feel like best helps you to understand the
Okay.
material. So I just want you to do one mean problem for me because we did those last time. And then we'll go on to mode, but could you find the mean of this data set for me, please?
And that's
And if you need help with the mean, let me know, but I think you remember.
I'm trying.
Okay. You start by adding up all the numbers.
Oh, right. Okay, now I know.
Okay.
$25.
Yeah, so when you add these up, I don't know if you saw this, but 15 and 35 make 50, and
Yeah.
20 and 30
Yeah.
make 50. So that's
That's what I did.
100 divided by 4, which is 25. Perfect. So the number on the bottom changes based on how many data points you have. You have 4 data points in this data set. So let's talk about the mode. And you probably heard this in class. It's the one that occurs the most often. Okay, but it must be more than once.
Okay.
So you look for a number that occurs more than once in your data set. So when you're looking at, and we'll look at number 3, do you see a number that occurs more than once in that data set? I'm going to snip it in, but you're looking at it here. Is there a number that occurs more than once?
8 and 9. and the mode is
and 7, and 7.
and 7. Yes, right.
So 7 is 2 times, 8 is 3 times, and 9 is 2 times. So which is the mode? It's the one that occurs the most often.
Mhm.
But not every data set has a mode.
Mm.
And that's what I think you might see. That's one of those sort of like, we'll call it a trick question, if you will. But let's look at number 6, another mode problem. Now this one is not organized, but for the mode, you don't necessarily need to organize your data. So what I would do is look at the data set and be like, okay, does 6 occur more than once? Do you see any other 6s?
No.
So that's that. How about a 3?
There's 4. There's 2 4s and
Okay.
2 2s.
How many?
So
And there's 1 3.
1 3.
So that's out. So there's 2 2s
Mm-hmm.
and 2 4s. So these are both
Yeah.
these are both modes. You can actually have more than one mode.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's possible. So let's look at the last one here. Let's look at number 9.
Okay.
Another mode. See how we're doing all the mode problems in a row?
Mhm.
That'll help you down the road. So go ahead and look at this data set and let me know what you think.
There's no mode.
There's no mode. Very good. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. Okay, let's go to page 3 and let's see if we can figure out what's going on here, because I think this is potentially very new for you.
Which one?
Page 3, bicycles
Oh.
and wheels. All right, so it says here are the instructions. It says write an expression for the missing value in each table. So it would be 8 if this was 4, but it's not 4 on the left, it's B. Do you see how it's a B?
Yeah.
So they want the they want
but
they want the rule. What is the rule to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 3 to 6?
well, 2
So
times.
yes, 2
So 1
times.
times 2 is 2. 2 times 4 is, or 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6.
So the same rule has to work for all of them.
Mhm.
And that's what you just told me, times 2. So this would be 2B. Do you follow that? Is that
Yeah.
okay? Because we're gonna do all of them, because these are, excuse me, these are a little bit awkward. They're just different. It's always tougher when you don't have the rule. So same thing here. You have to figure out the rule.
Oh, I can definitely see there's a pattern.
Right. So
Like,
how do you go from 14 to 7 and 16 to 9 and 18 to 11? And your options are add, subtract, multiply, divide.
you
So if you divide by 2, it has to work for all of them.
yeah. That wouldn't work. Is it subtract?
It is subtract. What are you subtracting each time?
You're subtracting 7.
Yes. So the question is it 7 minus R or R minus 7?
R minus 7.
Yes. Okay, let's look at number 3.
Multiplying or subtracting.
So when the numbers are getting smaller, so here's your kind of your list. When it's getting larger, you're either adding or multiplying. Smaller,
Yeah.
subtracting or
There's like
dividing.
1 times 60, and then 2 times 60 is 120. 3 times 60 is 180.
So you're going this direction, which is
Yeah.
fine. You're multiplying by 60. So these are inverse operations. So if you want to go the other direction, you're going to divide by 60.
Yeah. So would it be dividing?
Yes, yes. So that's another way that you can do these. You just figured it out, is you can go you can go the other direction and then undo the operation. So it is m divided by 60.
The last one I don't really get though. I'm trying to find a pattern in it.
For 4.
Yeah.
So are the numbers getting larger or smaller?
Larger, so it's either adding or multiplying.
Right. So you either figure, okay, well, is it plus 18 or is it multiplication by 7? Because I just did, that's from the first one. Like you only have 2 options. There's not a more complex scenario here.
It is times 7.
Yes. So what would go in this last position?
B times 7.
B times 7 or 7b is kind of preferred.
Right. This is this like a different like way of writing the things we just did for 5 and 6?
It appears to be just slightly more complicated.
Yeah.
But again, are the numbers getting bigger or smaller?
They're getting bigger depending on which
Right.
way you're going.
So to go from 1 to 2, for example, you're either adding 2 or you're multiplying by 3.
Yeah.
And then you have to check it for each of the other ones and
Adding
see.
2.
Yes. And
So
when you
n plus 2.
yes. Now the next one,
You're adding, are you doing multiplying? No, what are we?
so this one is a little bit different. It's a more complex one. It to me, it's kind of out of scope for you. But what you probably notice is that these numbers are going up by the same amount each time.
Yeah, 5, 9, 13.
They're going up by 4.
Yeah.
Okay. But
You're going up by 1.
yeah, the other ones are going up by 1. So this one actually has a more complicated formula to it. You're multiplying this number by something. So let me try to explain it. You're taking your n and you're multiplying it by something and then adding something to it.
Yeah.
So like what could you add? Like, for example, what if it was 3n plus 2? What is 3 times 1 plus 2? Does that give you 5?
Oh, yes.
But does it work for the next one? Is 3 times 2 plus 2 equal to 9?
3 times 2, 6. No.
So those aren't the right ones, but you can maybe guess something else.
Maybe.
Like 2n plus 3. Does that work?
Okay, so it's 2. No.
No, it does not. So what you've got to make a guess now. What could it be?
4.
4n plus 1. So try that.
Okay. There's one. Yeah, that'll work with the first one. Let's try this one too. Yes. Yeah, I think it might be that.
Okay. So this might be a good one to ask your teacher and say, hey, I did all the other problems and this one was like more complicated than the others. And should I expect that on the test? Because it is actually kind of an outlier. It's an unusual problem with respect to the rest of them. Okay, let's look at 7.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll read it out loud. A rectangle has a width of 6 inches. The table shows the area of the rectangle for different widths. I guess they mean lengths. Write an expression that can be used to find the area of the rectangle when its length is L inches. So they're basically asking, I guess they're saying, how do you use 6 and 8 to get to 48? What's the math operation?
Times 8.
Right. And does that work here? Is it 6 times 10 gets you to 60?
Yeah.
How about 6 times 12?
See.
So
Yeah.
this is, I like to use a cursive L. I don't know if you've learned cursive, but this looks a lot like a 1 or an I, but I would really, or you can use an uppercase L. That's also a good one, first letter of L of length. But this is 6 times L or 6L. Any questions on that?
No. The thing is like this thing where you like the puzzle twisters and teasers, I don't get it all. I don't understand that.
Okay, well, we're going to look at page 2 now. We've got some time here to get through this. So I actually think it's better to look at the right side. The sum of A and 55 is A plus 55. And then you connect it to the one on the
55
left.
times A.
I would write it and then, and let's see here. Let me see if I can get a better ruler here. And then you can connect with, so mine doesn't really kind of okay there. And the idea is I think you're going to cross out some that are not needed. So why don't you go down this list and see if you can work some of these out, and then I'll come back and I'll check your work. You don't necessarily need to connect them right now, but
Okay.
the ones I'm most concerned about are the ones that are minus takeaways.
Okay. X divided by 19. Okay, let's see. Next time. Okay. Okay, E1. Okay. Now let's see. Quotient of 75. Um, 55 times A. Okay.
So how about this 313 minus 262?
Right. So I've got, I have that like there. So it's like above, it's below the x times x divided by 19.
Yep.
X
That
times
works.
19.
That works. Okay. Actually, it's kind of they don't have a lot of overlap here. So
I don't get like why you do this like with through the like what are the numbers for in the middle?
you're going to cross them out, and there's going to be something at the end that you'll be able to decode. Your instructor just wants you to connect these, though. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And then let's see. Take away from 225 minus from 500. That's subtractions.
The problem is, yeah, the problem is there's only one option there. So, but I think you've got it.
Okay, and then product.
So that is it for us for today, August. Got through everything. You got just probably another 5-10 minutes and you'll be able to finish up your homework, but we'll continue on
Okay.
Wednesday. All right. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Yeah, that's done.